What girls can and can't do legally. Legal rights are all the things that women and girls are guaranteed by law to be able to do. Legal prohibitions are all the things that women and girls are legally not allowed to do. Sometimes these are things men and boys are allowed to do, meaning if a boy does it, he's not breaking the law, but if a girl does it, she is. For thousands of years, basically for all of human history, in almost every society, men controlled their countries, their communities, and their families, including their wives and daughters. For most of that time, this went unquestioned by most people. Men were supposed to rule, protect, and provide for their families, while women raised children, tended to their homes, and took care of their husbands. Often, this included lots of hard work, such as farming, hauling, and chopping firewood, tending to animals, cooking, and cleaning, in addition to having and raising children, which is arguably the hardest and definitely the most important work of all. Over the past few decades, women around the world increasingly have gained the legal right to work and to vote, while girls increasingly have received the right to go to school. But there are still many places where girls and women do not legally have the same rights that men and boys have. This is part of what I mean when I say we're not there yet on gender equality. Laws and how societies treat girls and women both need to change. Sometimes people in power change laws first, and then social practices and customs catch up. Other times, it's the opposite. Groups of people organize, raise their voices, and demand a change, and then people in power change laws. Regardless of how it happens, equal legal rights and a right to equality are important. 9 countries in the world still legally restrict women's movement. What this means is that in some countries, women can't walk, drive, bike, or otherwise get from home to work, or to see friends, or even go to their neighbor's house down the street without a male family member saying it's okay and then going with them or taking them. In Yemen, except in emergencies, women can't even step outside their own front doors without the permission of their husbands. Can you imagine if every woman you knew, whether your mom or grandmother or a teacher, had to get permission first from a father, husband, or brother before going outside? In Saudi Arabia, even if you have your husband's permission to go, for example, from home to work, you can't drive yourself. You need your husband or another man to drive you, because women aren't allowed to drive anything, anytime. No cars, trucks, or buses. Can you imagine driving down the street and seeing only men behind the wheel? It would probably look pretty odd, because you're used to seeing women driving alongside men. There are places where women are literally valued less in the eyes of the law. In Yemen, women are considered only half as valuable as men when they're witnesses in a trial. 2 women have to testify to equal the testimony of 1 man. There are also a number of cases in which women are not allowed to testify as witnesses, including theft. Can you imagine if your bag was stolen and the only witness was a woman, but because she couldn't testify to what she saw, the criminal would get away?